Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive into the latest AI happenings? Things are moving so fast, it's almost impossible to keep up.
It really is incredible. Every day there's something new, and it can feel pretty overwhelming trying to stay on top of it all.
Totally. But hey, that's what we're here for. We're going to break down the most important AI news and try to understand what it all means.
We'll unpack the complexities, highlight those potential benefits, and of course, talk about the inevitable challenges that come with any tech that's changing the world this quickly.
All right, let's jump right in then, shall we? Meta, the company formerly known as Facebook, right? Well, they just dropped a big update to their Llama AI model.
Yeah, and the interesting thing here is this update is all about making Llama way more efficient, even with limited resources, and that could be a game changer, especially for those smaller developers who don't have access to tons of computing power. You know, the kind you usually need for training large language models.
Oh, that's really interesting. It seems like this could open some serious doors for more people to experiment with and develop AI applications.
Exactly, that's the potential here, putting powerful AI tools into the hands of way more innovators.
It's almost like AI development is becoming more democratic, isn't it?
In a way, yeah, I think you could say that. By lowering the barrier to entry, this update could lead to a more diverse range of AI applications. Things that address niche needs or specific challenges that the big companies might have overlooked.
Love that. Okay, so Llama is all about efficiency and accessibility. Now let's talk about ChatGPT, the AI chatbot that's absolutely everywhere,
I know, right? It seems like OpenAI is constantly pushing the boundaries with ChatGPT.
and their latest move,
Yeah,
adding voice interaction.
yep, that's the one.
I gotta say, it's pretty cool to think about actually having a natural conversation with an AI, almost like you're talking to a real person. What do you think? Is this a big step towards AI being more human-like in how we interact with it?
Well, it definitely makes things feel more natural and intuitive. But we have to remember that even though AI can sound more human, it doesn't mean it's getting more intelligent or understanding us better.
That's a really good point. It's easy to get carried away with the novelty of it all.
Yeah.
But let's be real, who hasn't wished they could just tell their computer what to do instead of typing it all out?
Oh, I'll admit there's definitely an appeal to that. But the real test is going to be how well these voice interactions actually work. Like, can the AI actually understand and respond to complex requests? Or even just nuanced language? That's where we'll see the real measure of progress.
Okay, so voice interaction is exciting, but we need to be careful about overhyping it. It's more about improving the experience than creating some super intelligent AI. But while we're on the topic of AI becoming more human-like, let's move on to AI-generated art. This is something that's just blowing my mind.
I know what you mean. The whole world of creative AI is exploding right now. Tools like MidJourney are producing some incredible images that are almost impossible to tell apart from photographs.
It's wild. I was playing with MidJourney's latest version, and the level of detail is insane. The realism is incredible. You just type in what you want, and boom, you have a photorealistic image.
It really shows how far these AI models have come. And it's not just about pretty pictures. This tech has the potential to totally change creative fields like art, design, even advertising.
It's exciting for sure, but it's a little unnerving too, right? I mean, if
Mhm.
anyone can create amazing art with just a few words, what does that mean for artists? Is it a tool, a threat, or both?
I think that's the big question everyone is asking. On one hand, it empowers people to express their creativity in ways they couldn't before. Imagine someone who has an amazing idea for a painting but just doesn't have the skills to create it. AI can bridge that gap.
That's a great point. It could be an amazing tool for collaborating and democratizing creativity.
Exactly. But on the other hand, there are some valid concerns about the impact on professional artists. If AI can create art that's as good or even better than what humans can do, it really makes you question the value of human creativity and what will happen to the art market.
Yeah, it's a lot to consider. It feels like we're entering uncharted territory, and it's both exciting and a little bit unsettling at the same time.
And it's definitely a conversation we need to have. We need to consider the potential benefits, the potential risks, and find ways to make sure this technology is used ethically and responsibly.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got AI getting more efficient, more accessible, and more creative. But now let's shift gears a bit and talk about how AI is making a difference in the real world, starting with something truly inspiring. DeepMind's AlphaFold.
Ah, yes, AlphaFold. This is a great example of AI being used for good. It's a deep learning system that can predict the 3D structure of proteins with amazing accuracy.
And why is that such a big deal? I'm sure some of our listeners might be wondering.
Well, proteins are the building blocks of life. They're involved in pretty much every biological process in our bodies. So understanding their 3D structure is key for developing new drugs and therapies.
So AlphaFold is like a super-powered microscope that can see those tiny protein details.
That's a great way to put it. And now DeepMind is partnering with other companies to use AlphaFold to make drug discovery much faster, particularly for rare diseases.
Wow, that's amazing. It could mean faster treatments and even cures for diseases that were once considered impossible to treat. So how does AlphaFold actually work? Is it magic?
Well, it's not magic, but it's pretty close. It uses a very sophisticated algorithm trained on a huge database of protein structures. And by analyzing all those patterns and relationships within the data, AlphaFold can predict the 3D structure of a protein with amazing accuracy, even for proteins that have never been studied before.
That is incredible. It's like having a crystal ball for protein structure.
You could say that. And the impact of this technology is huge, especially for patients with rare diseases who often have to wait so long for effective treatments.
This is definitely one of those stories that makes you feel good about the future of AI. But it's not just healthcare that's benefiting from all this progress. We're seeing AI being used to fight fraud and, of course, power self-driving cars.
You got it. Mastercard is using AI to get much better at detecting fraudulent transactions, which means fewer of those annoying false positives. And then you have companies like Waymo that are making some big leaps forward in self-driving tech.
It really does seem like self-driving cars are getting closer and closer to reality every day. Do you think we'll see them become mainstream anytime soon?
That's hard to say. The technology is definitely moving fast, but there are still a lot of hurdles to clear. Regulatory hurdles, public perception challenges.
I get it.
Mhm.
People are still hesitant to hand over control to a computer, and there are definitely legitimate safety concerns that need to be addressed.
Right. But you can't deny the potential benefits either. Self-driving cars could significantly reduce accidents caused by human error, improve traffic flow, and even provide mobility for those who can't drive themselves.
It's an exciting prospect, but one we need to approach with caution. Safety and ethical considerations have to be at the forefront.
Totally agree. As with any powerful technology, it's all about finding that balance between innovation and responsible development.
Well said. It seems like AI is impacting every part of our lives these days, from the everyday stuff to the truly life-changing. But as we embrace all this progress, we can't shy away from those ethical questions either.
Absolutely. And speaking of ethical complexities, we can't ignore the recent U.S. Senate hearing on AI bias. This is a critical issue that we need to face head-on.
Couldn't agree more. As AI becomes more and more woven into our lives, we have to make sure it's fair, unbiased, and doesn't make existing inequalities even worse.
That Senate hearing really highlighted how important it is to have more transparency and accountability in AI development. We need to be sure that these systems are designed and trained in a way that promotes fairness and doesn't discriminate against certain groups.
It's a complex challenge, but one that we absolutely cannot ignore. We need open and honest conversations about the potential pitfalls of AI and develop safeguards to reduce those risks.
And those conversations need to include lots of different voices: technologists, ethicists, policymakers, and most importantly, the people whose lives will be impacted by these technologies.
It's about making sure that AI benefits all of humanity, not just a select few.
Exactly. AI has the potential to be an amazing force for good, but only if we're thoughtful and responsible about how we approach it.
This deep dive is already giving me so much to think about. It's clear that the world of AI is moving at lightning speed, and it's shaping our present and our future in profound ways.
And we've really only scratched the surface. There are so many other incredible developments happening right now.
Well, that's a perfect segue to our rapid-fire round, where we'll cover some of the other AI news that's caught our eye. Get ready, everyone, because things are about to get even more mind-boggling.
Okay, let's do it. Rapid fire round time. I'm excited to see what else has been happening.
Okay, first up, we have a climate change-focused AI startup that just got a massive $50 million in funding. They're working on developing new carbon capture technology.
That's great to hear. It's really good to see that kind of investment going into AI solutions for climate change.
Oh.
Carbon capture tech has a lot of potential to help us fight climate change, and AI could be a key to making it happen faster and on a larger scale.
Yeah, it sounds like they're trying to use AI to literally pull carbon dioxide out of the air.
That's the basic idea. Carbon capture technology is all about capturing CO2 from the atmosphere and then storing it safely underground or even converting it into something useful. AI can help design and operate those systems more efficiently and make them more cost-effective, too.
It's amazing to think that AI could actually help us solve one of the biggest challenges facing humanity right now.
It really shows you the power of AI to make a positive impact on the world. And hey, while we're talking about AI for good, there's some really exciting news out of Stanford University. They've got some new research that shows AI tutoring can really help students learn better, especially in schools that don't have a lot of resources.
I read about that. It's so cool how AI can personalize education and give support to students who might not have access to traditional tutoring.
Imagine a world where every student has their own virtual tutors available all the time,
Mhm.
ready to answer questions, explain things in different ways, and help them figure out where they need extra help.
That sounds like something straight out of a science fiction movie.
It might seem futuristic, but it's really happening. AI tutoring systems can track how a student is doing, find those learning gaps, and even change how they teach to fit that student's needs.
Wow, it's like having a personal learning buddy that knows exactly what you need.
Exactly. And this has the potential to really level the playing field in education, so kids from all different backgrounds have the chance to succeed.
Okay, one last rapid fire update, and this one is mind-blowing. Scientists have built an AI system that can predict earthquakes more accurately than ever before.
That's huge. Earthquake prediction has always been super challenging, but AI is giving us completely new ways to understand and analyze all that seismic data.
So how does it work? Can this AI really tell us exactly when and where an earthquake will hit?
Well, it's not about knowing exactly when and where an earthquake will happen. That's still beyond what we can do right now. But what this AI can do is look for those subtle changes in the Earth's crust and pinpoint areas where stress is building up, which could mean there's a higher risk of an earthquake there.
So it's more about knowing the likelihood of an earthquake happening in a certain area.
Exactly. And that's still a massive step forward. Early warning systems that use this technology could give people time to prepare, and that could potentially save a lot of lives.
It's incredible to think about how AI could be used for things like disaster prediction and prevention. It's almost like AI is giving us a sixth sense, a way to understand the world in ways we never could before.
Yeah, you could say that. AI is helping us expand our abilities and tackle problems that seemed impossible before. But as we get more and more into these advancements, we have to be careful and think about the potential risks and the ethical side of things, too.
That's the perfect note to end this rapid-fire round on.
Wow. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a mix of awe and excitement and a little bit of wait, what?
That's a pretty normal reaction to the world of AI. It's changing so fast, challenging what we thought we knew, and always reminding us that the future is full of possibilities but also uncertainties.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's take a second to think about what we've learned today. We've seen how AI is getting smarter, more efficient, more creative, and having a bigger impact than ever before.
It's being used to solve problems in the real world, from speeding up drug discovery to fighting climate change and even predicting natural disasters.
But it's also forcing us to ask some really important questions about things like bias, fairness, and what's going to happen to jobs and creativity in the future.
And as we try to navigate this really complex world, it's so important to stay informed, have those tough discussions, and demand that AI is developed and used responsibly. We want it to benefit everyone. Couldn't have said it better myself. So what really stood out to you from all the AI news we talked about today? What are you most excited about? And what are you most concerned about? I know it's kind of mind-blowing to think about just how fast things are changing in the world of AI. I mean, a few years ago, some of this stuff would seem like pure science fiction.
Oh, totally. The speed of progress is just incredible. And it's not even just about the technology itself. People are becoming more aware of the ethical side of things, the impact AI could have on society, and that's really important.
For sure. We need to be having these discussions now while we're still in the early stages. We have a chance to shape the future of AI and make sure it benefits everyone.
Right. And we have to remember that AI isn't some far-off concept. It's already affecting our lives in tons of ways. Sometimes we don't even realize it.
I think that's a really good point. Think about it, those recommendations you get on Netflix, the systems that protect our credit cards from fraud. That's all AI working behind the scenes, shaping our experiences every day.
And it's only going to get more influential as it gets smarter. AI has the potential to change industries, create new jobs, and help us solve some of the world's biggest problems.
But there's the flip side, too. It could also make existing inequalities worse, lead to job losses, and create new ethical dilemmas that we haven't even thought of yet. It's a powerful tool, and we need to be aware of both the good and the bad.
Exactly. We can't just focus on the shiny new tech. We have to be realistic. And that's why it's so important to stay informed and involved. The future of AI isn't set in stone. It depends on the choices we make today.
So what can we do as individuals to make sure AI is developed and used responsibly?
Well, the first thing is to stay informed. Read about AI, listen to podcasts like this one, talk to people about it. The more we understand AI, the better we'll be at making smart decisions about it.
I like that. Knowledge is power,
Right.
especially when it comes to new technologies that are changing everything so fast.
For sure. And don't be afraid to ask questions. If something doesn't seem right, speak up. Demand transparency from the people developing these technologies. Make sure they're thinking about the ethical implications.
It's about being active participants in shaping the future of AI, not just letting it happen to us.
You got it. The future of AI is something we're creating together, whether we realize it or not.
Well said. Wow, this deep dive has been quite the journey through the world of AI. We've covered a lot of ground, haven't we? From smarter models to creative breakthroughs to real-world impact and, of course, those big ethical questions that we can't ignore.
It's been a lot to take in, but hopefully it's given everyone listening a better understanding of this amazing technology and maybe even inspired you to learn more and explore the world of AI.
I hope so. And remember, the future of AI is in our hands. Let's make sure we shape it wisely.
Couldn't agree more.
Thanks for joining us, everyone, for this deep dive into AI. We'll be back soon with more insights and discussions about this incredible world of artificial intelligence. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and keep exploring.